Okay. Hello, everyone. It's great to be here with you today for another episode of Vibe Tuesdays. And today we have a very, very special guest, Austin Griffith. I'm going to introduce just in a minute. Thank you all for being here. We're all building towards this great venture-minded fund for Vibe coders, and we are very, very close to our target of raising $20,000 for funding you, yes, you, with all of your projects that are being submitted here, that are being curated by community vote. And even if you are not a technical person, if you're not a developer, yes, you can submit a project here. You can build amazing things like these guys that built a whole game with 40,000 users just with Vibe coding, which is great. They're launching an NFT now. These guys doing carbon credits. These people doing like very good impact submissions here with Vibe coding. So now anyone can deploy, and Austin is going to show how today. Pay attention, everything he's going to speak. We are building this calendar of events. So if you didn't yet come here and subscribe, it's Luma at Venture Miner. We mine venture. So just type that out. You're going to find that calendar. Get your builder badge here if you haven't yet, if you want to become a sponsor. And this is where we're going to announce all of our next events. If you're in for some more Web3 jutsu stuff, come here on Thursday too with Naruto, and we're going to have much more things to announce here, especially our Vibathon. I've been speaking about that for a while. We finally created Luma, and we're going to announce this week. You're getting a sneak peek here, Luma at Vibathon, a Vibe coding hackathon, where you can go there, code your game, code your app, code whatever you want, and submit here for Artisan for applying up to $20,000 in match funding for selling your NFTs there with Artisan, which is kind of good start for your bootstrapped project, right? And if you're asking, I don't know how to Vibe code, I don't know how to do that, this is where I shut up and I give the microphone to the legend, to Austin Griffith, who is going to guide you all today for the mastery of the tricks of yelling at AI in the correct way, right, Austin? Let me pin you here.
That's right. You got to yell at it. Yeah. You you said the last time we hung out was in SF when I was yelling at Cursor for the first time. I think I was yelling at Cursor 3.5, and I think today we'll yell at Cursor 3.7. And in just a month or two, we're going to yell at Cursor 3.9, and it's going to do things we can't even imagine yet. It's going to do everything.
I hope it never learns how to yell at us, right?
Again. Yeah, it'll be yelling at us. Yes, that's why it's important right now to say thank you, bro, love you every time you finish your prompt, just so it doesn't come back and kill us.
First lesson, be nice with AI. Good, yeah. Good. Learning something today.
And something I learned that day, Fukuri was there, the guy who makes Tevum. And remember, I was like, I prompted it, and then I would come back and I had to re-prompt it. And that polluted the context. If you prompt it and it screws up, and it's not a small change it needs to make, you should just go back and start the context fresh and re-prompt it. And we'll do a little bit of that today. But that was something that I did wrong then, and I've gotten better. Not just the model, but the Vibe coder has improved.
Oh, that's poetic. As we stare in the abyss stare at us, right? The same thing happens with
back. Heck yeah. Okay, so hi, I'm Austin Griffith from the Build Guild. Build Guild is working on educating and building tooling and even accelerating developers with grants and onboarding batches and a whole program that we're working on. You can edit your own smart contracts live. Like this is a live smart contract interactor called ABI Ninja. We have hacked wallet recovery. If you accidentally get a wallet stolen and there's still some assets laying around in it, you can make a Flashbots bundle, and hacked wallet recovery will help with that. Address Vision helps you see addresses and more information about them. But yeah, just shill in the Build Guild real quick. We even have our own client. You can go to client.buildguild.com and get a one-liner for running your own Ethereum node. It's easier than it ever has been. Okay, and speedrun Ethereum. Got to shill speedrun Ethereum. If you're trying to learn how to build on Ethereum, you're going to need to build a whole bunch of things to figure out how to do that. You can do that at speedrunethereum.com. It's going to take you through all these aha moments. We've been teaching this stuff for 5 years. We've been figuring out what things really resonate with folks, and you can go to the speedrun and get all of those concepts as fast as possible. We're even working on a stable coin and a prediction market challenge soon, along with layer 2s and ZK and multisigs and a whole bunch of other stuff. But check out speedrun Ethereum, and you can also vibe code your way through speedrun Ethereum, but you need to understand the concept, so pay attention.
Nice. Vibe run Ethereum, something like that.
Yeah. You can definitely vibe code the speed run. There's part of like having to write it for yourself that really like forces you to think about it, but maybe you don't need to think about it anymore. I don't know. There's all of this that we're doing should have a big asterisk next to it.
Yeah, I can explain you things too, right? If you're stuck, hey, I don't know how to meet this NFT, what's going on? Instead of calling you don't want to pick those calls at 3 a.m., right? They can ask an AI now. That's a very clever move.
Yep. And
That's
lists and tell it to teach you. There's so much that it can do, right? Not just write the code for you, but it can be teaching you. Okay, so I think the goal here is to vibe code something with Scaffold-ETH. But at first, I'm going to probably just vibe code with I have this kind of raw vibe coding stack that I use with my kids to make games. And I've been using this stack to do a presentation. I go around and I give a bunch of, let's just look at the website. Look, I'm sharing my screen. I can show you. We're on tour. We're going to all these different universities and we're teaching how to build on chain, basically. And when I have one of these office hours, I like to do some vibe coding. And what I do, so these are students that get it, right? They're smart. They know how to build, but they're just sort of like, why Ethereum? Why do you need decentralization? Carlos on the Build Guild had this really good idea. And so what I do is I vibe code a voting app, okay? So this is, I tell them I'm gonna show you the Slop computer before I show you the world computer. So the Slop computer is basically a very, very simple set of code that I vibe coded with one shot that is a server with socket.io, and then a very, very simple front end that just has like this loading bar, and anyone can scan that QR code and they'll show up here. So if you scan that with your mobile right now, you should show up in that top right corner there. Let's see if I do. Make sure it works. There we go. I got a 2. Yep. So if you scan that at home, you could, there we go. We got 4, we got 5. So the point is I say, okay, students scan in, we're going to take a vote, and we're going to vote on, so what I do is I pull one of these. While I do a lot of vibe coding, I keep track of my different branches of vibe coding. And my kids are like, let's make a duck hunt game. Let's make a cut gun game where there's this gun and you cut it. Let's make this sploders game where you walk around and blow up, right? So I pulled this vibe vote here. Let's check out vibe vote, right? And so what's going to happen is it should auto reload the website. The website should notice that, nope, it didn't. Okay. And then we need to do something like this probably. We need to do like a yarn and restart server. Let's try this. There we go. Okay, now we can vote. Okay, so we say, how is the vibe? Basically, I vibe coded this voting app off screen, like earlier, or it's probably been weeks now since I vibe coded this, but I made a one-shot app that asks, how's the vibe? And you can vote, and it looks like we have 7 good votes. Not a single person has voted bad. I wonder what's going on there. Well, if you were to look at the prompt I used to write this, I said, when they vote for bad, give them some weird nondescript error that something isn't working. So what we're doing here is we're censoring votes, right? We're showing some censorship and showing you like live, what if this was a vote for a presidency? What if this was a vote for a whole bunch of money or someone to become a dictator? Like, this is really bad, right? So this is kind of the kickoff point that I use with students talking about you don't want to have a centralized app that controls a lot of things. Decentralization is about not just the resilience, building up this thing that never goes down, but it's about taking control away from any centralized piece. Yeah, will you send the code here? Yeah, so the code, I wish the code was special, This code is not special. This is like you can prompt ChatGPT to write everything that I've built here by just saying, make me a backend server that uses socket.io to track users. Give me a front end that shows a QR code of the current URL and then how many users are connected. And then I added one little thing in here that says watch when the code changes underneath. And it didn't work just now, which is kind of weird, but watch when the code changes underneath and reload. And that's basically it, right? And then we built in this vibe code. So this server and this index, this like code that I'm using here is not anything special. It's something that you can vibe code. And let's lean into that a little bit. Vibe coding almost requires a really good starter kit. Like if you are going to build a game that has X, Y, and Z, you probably want to figure out like what is the starter kit for that and build that first, like prompt that into existence first and get it. So like, okay, like there's a map and characters move around. It all looks like shit, but it works, right? We're going to start with there's a map and characters move around, and then I'm going to build my game on top of that. But you almost need this starter kit because the LLM loves examples, right? It loves having like a framework that's already there. Frameworks versus libraries was like a big contentious thing in Ethereum because most people wanted a library. They wanted it to be as simple as possible. They didn't want a bloated framework because there was a bunch of stuff they didn't need. And then as they built their app up, they eventually realized they needed all those things from the framework, but they had to reach those lessons on their own. But now with vibe coding, frameworks are going to make a big comeback, I think, in the Web3 space because frameworks provide this really nice scaffolding for the LLM to know exactly what to do without having to think about it very much. Like they can just kind of pattern match. So to the guy who asks if the code is public, it actually isn't public. It's just a private repo. I call it like my dry run repo, but it's just something I prompted and I could make it public really quick. I'll make it public sometime, but it's just like an HTML page and a server that does socket.js and keeps track of everything. You could really just like make that the prompt to start, make sure that all works, and then move on. But yeah, okay, so let's see. What do we have here? We have this vote on the Slop computer. And wow, 37 good. I feel like we may be getting civil attacked. I don't think there's even that many people on the call. Is there?
About
Maybe
30 here.
35. So. It's about, yeah. Okay, so centralized vote, bad. Let's make a decentralized vote, I think is usually the next step. But this is really fun. While we're here and we have like 7 or 8 people, stick around, you guys. Let me grab a different fork. I want to go show you Sploders real quick, which is a really fun game my kids came up with. Let's see, check out Sploders. There we go. See, it auto changed that time. I don't know why it didn't last time. Oh no, there was something else. Okay, I need to check out like a different branch. I must have committed something. So last time I was on a vibe coding thing, we did this and I had, oh, darn it. I need to roll that back. Ooh, I could do a get log -2 or something like that. And then I could check out this, right? Let's try it. Oops. And then try a restart. Okay.
Good. Some
maybe
wizardry there.
There we go. Okay, scan in. And what's going to happen is it should, this still doesn't look right. They're supposed to move around. It doesn't look like it's moving around. Nice floaters. That's what we want. Give us nice floaters. Install, restart the server. There we go. Get ready, y'all. Get ready. Here comes floaters. Okay, so this was something that my kids and I vibe coded. It's basically every player gets an emoji. The emojis wander around randomly. You're picking up money, but if you run into a landmine, you explode. So it's landmine survival game. And we one-shotted this, and I played it with my kids for like 3 hours. It's so much fun, like seeing the little characters wander around. You're like, no, boom, and then they blow up all over the place. A lot of fun. I don't know why we're not seeing the landmines. You should actually be able to see the landmines. Okay, next round. I shouldn't have reloaded there. I think I might have broken something. Oh man, the scores are like taking over the screen. I've never had this many players before. This is a first. All right. There, now you can see the mines, right? And some people started right on the mines. Yep, boom, boom, boom. Look at Penguin. Penguin's still surviving. Oh, Fox just hit it. Okay, so the art of one-shotting something is something that I really have gotten into recently. And I will do this thing where I have this Slop computer set up. And I'll do this thing where I build it. Okay, so now we're on local. So I'm same code. I've got a server and an index, but now I'm on localhost. Okay. When I fire that up, it just gives me a local host. So you guys can't join this anymore, but I'm on localhost. Okay. And this is where I dink around with ideas. When I'm thinking about something new, even if it's like, let's make a burner wallet where you send value around, I'll probably vibe code the UI here first and dink around with it here and kind of work backwards from there. But I have this prompt, and here we go. So we're gonna make a game called Move Around, right? It's very, very similar to Sploders, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the context file here that kind of explains, here's the server, you wanna edit the front end first and then the server, stuff like that. And then I'm gonna give it a prompt, okay, the reason why I'm copy pasting this prompt, usually I like write this stuff, and I'll write one in a little bit. We'll make a voting app on chain that will vibe code. But I just want to show this because I've run this probably 8 times now. I've taken the same exact prompt and I've one-shotted an app, and then I've dinked around with the app, and then I get reset hard, and then I do it again. And I look at small changes that I can make to this text, and the big change it makes back on the app that you create. So it doesn't say anything about what the map is supposed to look like. Basically, what we want to do is make a game where every character is an emoji, just like we already are. There's a map that is like a 80 by 50 grid, and everyone's on mobile, and they can swipe with their mobile and move around. And that's it. And so I send that into Claude. So I have Claude on agent mode. I have it in YOLO mode, so it's allowed to just like run commands and do everything. If you have your hand up, just shout it out, dude. Make this like very interactive. Please say it.
Question from our friend Kevin Jones here. If when you do the git reset, I want to pick up this question, right?
So like every time that you git reset, do you also reset the chat history so you get a fresh history with the LLM?
Yep, fresh context too. Well, I don't know if it's like how fresh it is. I just basically create a new tab and paste it in again. I'll show you real quick, and you guys tell me if like there's probably like some context that sticks around that I don't even know about. But basically, I just do a new one of these right here. I hit this little plus button up here, and then I repaste the thing in. I don't know if that has. I'm guessing that's new context, but I'm not sure.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's new.
Okay,
nice.
But yeah, so this thing is going to do everything. It's got the server, it's got the front end. We're not doing any blockchain stuff here. We're just like make an app where it's multiplayer. People can wander around and see each other and swipe to move, basically. What I'm trying to show off here is almost the beauty in the differences of each one shot. And the art of dinking around with the prompt and making like subtle changes to the prompt that ends up making interesting front ends. But we kind of need this thing to one shot. There we go. It did it. Okay, so here it is. Here is our 50 by 80 map. This is an interesting one. This one's really interesting. Okay, and then let me join with, you guys can't join, but let me join with my local. I should have just one shot this to a live app so we could all, but there we go, man. I got like, right, I'm in the world. And let's see if I can swipe. Yep. Nope. Oh, yeah, I can swipe. Okay, I'm moving. Yep, you can see a little kitty moving. That one's me. I'm going to move over to the smiley face. So there we go. I can move around. I can swipe on my phone. The swipes are basically moves. And there we go. A kitty came and talked to human, right? So now that you've seen that, let's do a git reset hard, right? Okay, and then this goes back to the loading screen, right? And we're ready for this again. And then I'm going to grab this same prompt. Oh no, my headphones are going dead. Grab the same prompt, create a new context, paste that in and run it again. Let me see. Can I hear you guys? Can you guys say something?
Yeah. I can
Okay,
hear
you guys can hear me. I can hear you. We're all good. Okay, so same exact thing again, but it's going to be vastly different. And let me show you. Here are just some maps that I've gotten over the last like 5 or 6 runs. A lot of times it'll do something like this, right? It'll just be like completely random. I would say, yeah, here's maybe 2 or 3 out of, I would say out of these 5 that I've captured, a lot of them had this randomness to it. But every once in a while, you get one there where there's like these weird islands, or you get one where there's like kind of these nice like big blocks that are smooth, kind of like what we saw in the front end in the first instance. So you get like these different maps depending on this. But all I would need to do is just say, do a couple rounds of smoothing, and then every map would be smooth. And so it's sort of like I kind of one-shot it, see what it does, make some changes, get reset everything, and then try the one shot again with small changes until there's just this really nice one shot that gets the job done. And there's just a lot of subtleties about learning like what little things you need to talk about. One thing is the swipe is always, let's see if I even talk about it. Yes, swipe is inverted versus what you think, right? That's so weird to tell an LLM, like whatever you think you're about to do with the swipe, do the opposite. It's the other way. But that's kind of what you need to tell it here, like swipe down to go up, swipe left to go right. And I had to write that, like, I noticed that every single one shot it was wrong. And so I tried just telling it this and it didn't do it. I had to write this exactly. And then the swiping basically works every time. But I had to like have that like explicitly in there and have those that command in there. Ooh, look at this world. That is nice. Yeah. Look at that. And can I move? Yep. Unicorn. Here goes unicorn. Unicorn's going down to see Panda Bear. Hey, Panda Bear. Yep. Whoop. Yep. There you are. Okay, cool. So we made, we one-shotted a little multiplayer world. And I use this all the time with my kids, dinking around with, like, they just tell me some silly game that doesn't make sense. And normally I would, like push back and be like, no, that doesn't make sense. Think through this a little bit more. But now I don't. I just say, like, whatever weird idea they give me, I just give it right to the LLM and see what happens, right? Like it's up to the LLM to decide if it's a bad idea or not.
Probably it's quicker to demonstrate the idea than to tell a convincing kid that the idea doesn't make sense, right?
Yep. Okay, how's this going? We see one player is just duking it out over here. I love that. Okay, so I think we're probably about ready to move over to vibe coding and on-chain app, but let me just pause there, see if there's like questions or any comments, or can you explain live compared to local? Okay, live compared to localhost. Basically, this is the exact same repo, but the web server is just running on my local machine. Over here, I have a server, and it's in AWS, and I'm SSH'd into the server, and I'm prompting it to change things. And so I can live vibe code, right? Let's do this. Let's get checkout master. There we go. Go back to this. So if you guys, oh, will you say something, Dave?
Guess what? Just an accidental open mic.
Okay, go ahead and scan in again and watch this. I will live code this thing. So I give it the index, the prompt, and the server. I'm SSH'd into this machine. It's a live web server up. And when it makes changes, it's supposed to, okay, let's do this. Let's show a picture of a panda and then let each user select their own emoji and display it below the panda. Why are we doing that? I don't know, but here we go. Okay, so this will actually like live edit the shit on the server. We're gonna see this thing live reload. So if you guys are scanned in with your, go ahead and scan in with your phone. Let's see what this, it should give each player their own emoji, and it should yeah, maybe display a panda. I don't know. But to answer the question, basically this is just on a web server. It's the same, index file and server file, but they're living out on a web server, and I'm SSH'd into that web server, live editing it, like prompting it to go edit the code. And then there we go. Did everybody's page mine just reloaded? Did everybody's reload? That's pretty nice. So you can pick your emoji and then nothing happens, huh? It's broken. Wait. Let me try restarting the server. Maybe sometimes you have to do this thing because the server needs like either something installed or nope. It's it's not working.
I guess I see you working on the server.js on your cursor.
Oh, it's still working on the server. Okay, we just got the front end. That's what's going on. We only have the front end here. We don't have the back end yet. That's what's going on.
They just finished it. Nice.
Do we have our panda now? The panda image still is broken, which is too bad. But if you click buttons, no, button clicks don't work for me either. Let me try resetting the server just in case. I think this is a busted build. And I think your instinct, oh wait, that did something. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, we can click. So the panda button broke, but everybody's able to set their emoji. And it updates too. Oh, that's nice. Look how it live updates. Every time you change it, everyone sees everyone. This is really nice. See, I love little things like this where we would have never like had this experience of seeing people change their emoji live without like, we didn't even think through the app fully. We just put it out there and dinked around with it. There's something here. There's something fun about this, right? Like what if this is a prediction market and we were all trying to pick which emoji we think is the one that everyone else would pick. And it was like hidden privately and we do like a little prediction market thing. Like we're already halfway to building the prediction market here. Fun stuff. I love that. Okay, so that was a very long-winded way of saying I have this starter kit with this server and this front end, and I vibe code a lot of stuff on localhost, but I love vibe coding stuff on the Slop computer live for students because it kind of gives this fun feeling. And also I do that vibe voting thing first, and then we come over and we'll do a voting app on chain. Are we ready for voting app on chain?
Let's go.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, let's get started. Yeah, go ahead and ask questions here. I mean, 30 minutes is way longer than we need. I bet we can get an app on chain and gamble in 30 minutes. I'll bet you in 30 minutes I can build an app and put it on chain and we can gamble with real money. Here we go.
That's nice.
Okay, so, and we're going to start from complete scratch. Let's npx create ETH latest. So I just made a commit reveal app earlier today, and I think that's the fun app. Commit reveal is a really fun way to gamble, but it's let me go grab that prompt real quick. Let me see if I can find it. I think I have it. Did I save the prompt? Oh, and this is another thing. So I was talking about how there's so much version control with my vibe coding, right? I'm always like working through some branch, and there's like tons of different branches here. Not just version control, but also prompt saving, right? I just have like a notepad that has like paragraphs, and it's like, okay, if you want to let them select an emoji, there's like a paragraph that explains it. If you want to have, X as part of your game, there's a paragraph. And I just have like all these different paragraphs for different things that I can copy paste them and kind of like build a recipe as a prompt by just going to my notepad, but I can't find my commit reveal anywhere. Maybe we'll make one in a second.
Yeah, I was thinking on ideas here. We could bet on the emojis, and whomever get the most emojis, like we do a guild.
Yeah. Okay. We display four emojis, four random emojis. Everyone bets, and the bets are actually on chain, but we won't show them.
Commit and reveal, and then at the review phase, we reveal the emoji.
Okay. And then you reveal the one, and the one that got the most. That is going to be a hard one shot, but let's work through it. Okay, so it'll be a commit reveal emoji prediction. Oh gosh, this isn't this not gonna work. And you can pick Hard Hat or Foundry, make your choice. Any preferences? I bet more Hard Hat than Foundry.
Hat, probably.
You're a Hard Hat guy? Okay.
Anyone else?
Either one works well. Okay, let's CD in here and look at this code.
Instead of betting, we could make it easy. Like we just mint the winner emoji as an NFT for everyone. It could be way easier.
Okay.
Like the challenge 0, right? So
yeah, but now you've got like a separate NFT contract and IDK.
Yeah.
Let's
Which one is easier.
yeah, let's just see if we can get like the commit reveal to work, and then maybe we'll add some things. Maybe we won't one shot this. Maybe we'll one shot like a piece of it, and then we can extend it.
Good.
So there's docs for Scaffold-ETH. If you want to actually like build the thing yourself, you can get in here and learn how these hooks work. Here is how you read from your smart contract. Here's how you write to your smart contract. But thankfully, all of that stuff is here in the Cursor file. The Scaffold-ETH developers have built a kind of nice little handy rules file that should tell Cursor all it needs. So really, we'll just grab the your contract, and what do we want to do? Let's change. Let me zoom in so you guys can see it.
This
We
is
want
brilliant.
to
Every SDK and every scaffold project should come with Cursor roles now. I guess it's mandatory.
Yep. Those four. Okay, we're going to need front end too, right? So I'm going to have both my your contract and my page. Okay, so we got front end and back end. Okay, those four emojis. User, let them select their favorite, then they hit commit, and then in a later block, let's just say what, like 5 minutes later, 2 minutes later, 3 minutes later, no one is allowed to commit anymore, and everyone is allowed to reveal. You reveal the salt and the emoji you voted for. It matches your commit. Then we count all of the revealed emojis and I don't know, the most common one. Let's just and show a scoreboard, something like that. I don't know. This is
maybe we can
not gonna
pick
work.
like 1 minute for the commit phase and 1 minute for the review phase, and then anyone that doesn't review is expired.
Okay, 2 minutes. You're saying a minute is too fast. Like we if we put this on chain, it's going to be like 2 minutes. 3 minutes is okay. It's okay. Okay. There's something here though. The reveal must happen on a later block than the commit. That's one thing. And there's something else here with the reveal. Something else that has to happen with the commit reveal. We're salting it, and that's good. We're picking a later block, and that's good.
But there may be the possibility that people don't review, right? And then you need to make a cut, a cliff here, and a new cut.
I think the way you do this is when they commit, you have them pay money. And then when they reveal, they get paid back the money. Nice. Like there needs to be some incentive to either, or it's even better than that. Like you do good UX and you say, everyone commits, but only the winner has to reveal. And so there's only one transaction that's the reveal that says I'm the one that won or something like that. But nice. Okay, let's send this thing. This is definitely not going to work, but let's this thing work on it. Let's see how far it gets. Now, what I would do normally is kind of like to craft the one shot. I would try to come up with the best description I can. I would spend more time than this. I would spend probably 15 minutes thinking of every little thing I could think of and writing it out. Then I would probably hit ChatGPT and say, clean this up into clear instructions. And then I would probably come back here and paste it in for the first time. And then I'd let it one shot and I'd see what it does. And I'd make some changes and I'd reset it and then try it again. But maybe we'll just kind of like, we'll build on to this. Okay, so we're going to accept. What did it do? We have this emoji vote. Okay, so we already know the 4 emojis, right? It's going to be, no. Taco, rocket, love, smile. All right, so we're going to have to vote on these 4. Okay, and we'll vote hopefully using some commit reveal. Okay, so it looks like the smart contract is written. Does it have a, oh, you know what? We needed a specific function for hashing, I think, because I think the front end needs to get phase, get, okay, now this is where there's something interesting here, because what's going to happen is when they reveal, we're just doing this hash here. I'd love for this hash to be a read function. So you can say, I have this salt and this emoji, put it in and get the hash back instead of having to calculate that off chain. But maybe it just does it too. I think we need to change that though. I think one thing I would add to this prompt is something that has to do, this was the other thing I was trying to think of and it didn't come back. What is it? It's the fact, need a calculate hash read function in your contract, so it is easier to calc that hash from the front end, right? All right, I'm just going to restart this thing. Continue and revert. Let's go. Rebuild it. I think that like that little bit is going to be important enough that it's worth restarting. If you've ever built something and then accidentally had your work destroyed and then you have to build it again, as a coder, it's the worst feeling in the world to be writing the same code that you just wrote. It's really funny that like we're basically torturing the AI here to do that over and over and over again. Oh, that thing you just built, I just threw it away. Build it again.
Yeah, and the other side, there is a company profiting for that. So
that's true. Someone's getting paid. Someone's getting paid. That's true. Okay, so our emojis. Oh, new emojis. Okay, we got new emojis. What I'm looking for though is there a calculate? So when you commit the vote, there's a commitment that goes in, but you need to calculate that commitment off chain. There we go. Calculate hash. Okay. So what you would do is you would say whatever the emoji index is plus some random salt, bury that in a hash, commit the hash on chain, and then at some later block, there's probably a reveal period. And oh man, we have to start the reveal phase. Yuck. If you've ever written a smart contract, you know that you should not have state changes be button pushes. They should be timing. At this time, everything else, the rules change, and that happens without anybody having to change anything in the smart contract. But nope, someone's going to have to pay on-chain to move us into the reveal phase, which is dumb. But a little thing that you would add, right? Now I'm already thinking of, okay, that needs a line that talks about this and make sure that the reveal phase is actually just a timestamp that's set ahead of time. And if someone tries to reveal before that time, it doesn't work. If someone tries to commit after that time, it doesn't work. That kind of stuff.
if you try to ask it after, I know you are trying to maximize for the single shot, but if you ask after, turn this function as a modifier, blah, blah, probably the AI is going to be able to use that as a context, right?
Yep. Unless it goes like way off the rails, it should be able to make that adjustment, I think.
Yeah, it all boils down to context management, right? So if you're putting too much information in the context, the probability of the AI getting lost is way too high. And then you need to start yelling at it.
Yep, not good. It's nice though, it's like fixing linter errors and stuff, right? Like stuff that like, I just want it to work, but it's nice that it's getting that far.
It's fun because if they know how to fix the errors, they should be able to know how to code without the errors, right? So you're paying twice for the same thing.
Okay, so I'm going to fire up my local blockchain. I'm going to start my local app. Okay, and now I'm going to yarn deploy to my local. So let's see, does the contract deploy? Step 1. Uh-oh, it did not. So the one shot definitely failed. What's it doing here? Oh, it's trying to get the greeting. Okay, in the deploy, there's some extra stuff here. I should have included this in the context. It does this right here. That fixes that. Let's see if it deploys now. There we go. Okay. So the vibe coded contract at least deploys. We've gotten that far. Now it's working on the front end. And boy, is it working. I feel like we've been in front end mode for, oh, no, now it's going to read the deploy contracts. Great. Okay, I will. Thank you. Okay, let's try it again. Yarn deploy. Let's see how it works. Okay, and then let's go to our front end. Whoops, localhost 3000. Is that started? Let's see. Yeah, right here. There it is. There's our commit reveal system. Okay, vote committed. Wow, you successfully voted. Uh-oh. Okay, let's see. So let's see. So say, let's just go through just interacting with the smart contract. Let's say you want to pick Rocket. You would pick emoji index 1. Then you'd add some salt that makes it hard for people to guess that you have emoji 1. And then you would read that. Then you would take, I feel like I just heard my kids over here. Then you would take that and calculate the hash. Let's see, where is it? Where is the calculate hash? There should be a read function. Am I missing it? Oh, no, this is the calculate hash. Okay, you calculate the hash and then you commit it, right? Here, commit vote. There we go. So that goes on chain. Okay, you need money from the faucet. That goes on chain. And then later, so I'll hit the faucet again to increment the block. Then I go reveal it, right? I reveal my emoji index was 1 and my salt was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're waiting. The reveal phase has not started yet, right? Someone has to click start reveal phase. This is so janky. Okay, commit phase is not over. The 3 minutes, I should have gone for longer. Maybe a little countdown, right? A little ticker to let us know how long until the reveal phase.
Maybe to speed it up, we could phase the things out by votes. Whenever 10 commitments are made, we automatically push it to review phase.
Ooh, yeah. As soon as like some like threshold. Yep. That could be interesting. Commit phase is not over yet. I'm worried that like it's been the 3 minutes. Okay, and also the front end is all jacked up too. Yeah, ask questions, please. What you got? How you doing?
Hey, Austin, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Good.
Hey, I have a question. You said, there's times where you decide that, it's just rubbish code and then you just start over. What's your criteria for that? Like, when do you know, like, it's something that you can fix and when it's something that you just throw it away and just start again?
I think it's like a vibe. I think it's very subjective. Like, how off the rails did you get, right? With the game where there was a map and you swipe and there's a map, if it's like super zoomed in and jacked up, I know right away. Like, it's like, oh man, this is way off. But if it's just a little off and it's just like, oh, I mean, the swipes are going the wrong direction. I just need to kind of tell it to invert the thing and go. That's when I'll do that. Also, if I'm like super in the mood to push on, the art of a one shot, I will be like very quick to reset and edit my one shot and try to send it. Like if I'm in one shot mode, I'm gonna reset like 8 times in a row. Yep. But that's silly. I mean, what am I even doing? Like this is a thing that didn't exist 2 months ago, and it's like I'm being opinionated about it. I don't know.
It's like playing Street Fighter and try to win without taking a punch.
Yeah. Passive Street Fighter. Yeah. Let's see. Yep, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you still taking questions?
Yes, please, always.
Yeah, I have a question about vibe coding. I have a bunch of them. I'll just kind of start with like, what are your methods for debugging? I noticed that a lot of times when I'm vibe coding, the Cursor AI kind of misplaces the context of where it should build things, so it'll create another source directory, or it'll create another directory Like, is that something you build into the rules, or
Yep.
is that
Yep.
like okay?
Check out, let me jump over here. I have this like context file that's talking specifically, like there's this server and there's this index file, and those are the two, like these are the two files you should be editing, right? And so same thing over here. When I'm about to make a change, you're right. That can be one of the most frustrating things ever. If I accidentally have the front end selected here, and I tell it to make some change that I want to happen in the smart contract, oh man, I'm going to have the worst time ever, because it's going to try to hallucinate the front end change into the back end, and you get in big trouble for sure. So I think just spending 5 seconds before you hit go to like think through your context and make sure, like, is this context the right, like, am I giving it the things it needs? For instance, we had that little deploy issue. I kind of wish I would have also included the deploy script along with the contract, so we didn't have that little issue that we had. But context is so important, and making sure you have the right context and making sure that your prompt is for that context. And you're right, if you don't, holy moly, it gets really frustrating. If you try to tell it like, oh, the hash isn't working in the smart contract, but you have the page as the context, it's going to do some really weird things.
Wow.
So yeah, not great advice there, but just like I spend a lot of time making sure that context is right before I ship the prompt.
No, that's extremely helpful. Gives me like what I should be doing versus what they should be doing. And kind of one more. I know we spoke earlier. You were having some kind of trepidation about if this app would be too big or for a one shot. Like what goes into determining that? And kind of a bonus on top of that is, if you needed to build on top of this, like how would you kind of create the like V2 context for this? I use Taskmaster to do a lot of vibe coding, so that's kind of like what I like my
Yeah, I think an overall framework here that helps you break your thing into tasks and chunk it up would be really useful. I think that like one-shotting is only just for fun, and it's the fact that like Claude 3.7 does it sometimes and it works. Like one-shotting wasn't even a thing with Claude 3.5, so it's all about like how good the model is.
Okay.
and how complex your prompt is. And I think as we started getting there was some complexity there where we were talking about a separate NFT contract, and now your contract is going to need to own the NFT contract and be able to mint on the contract. And so if we bring an NFT into this and they're collecting that, like there was just like some little extra things that are not that complicated, but they're actually kind of like contract to contract interaction is kind of complicated, and that's like bespoke to this like field.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that the AI is not going to know exactly how to do that. So just like the more layers of complexity we add here, and the more unclear it becomes in my own head what will get created from this prompt, the farther away I get from being able to one-shot it and rewind it. And most of the time this is like an iterative process where I get close to something and then I, get it closer. Like right now, we can't tell. Like, okay, you asked me how I debug. Well, we've got an issue here, right? Like for some reason, even after many minutes, it's saying that the reveal phase is not working, right? So something is not working with the timing, right? So I'm going to tell it, I can't tell how much time is left. So like make a read function that tells me how long until the reveal phase. Let's make it only 60 seconds of committing until we can go to reveal. Let's see. Maybe that's about it.
Do you want to try and turn the review phase thing as a modifier and get rid of the function?
So what would making it the modifier do?
Instead of being a function that you need to call, it's going to be a modifier.
Oh,
that's going to check.
Yes, we should have done that. Shoot. Here.
How are you getting it to one shot? I often have to babysit. Is that like a toggle?
Very good prompts. A very good. Oh, you're talking about, okay, yes. So I have it in agent mode, right? Make sure you have it in agent mode here. Make sure you have Claude 3.7 or the best model you can find. And then there's actually a setting that I got into that is kind of like, there's some kind of setting in here about like YOLO mode or something like that. It used to be called YOLO mode, but now it's maybe called autopilot mode or something. There's a thing that you can check in the settings that will let it do a lot more things over here without you having to tell it yes every time. Instead of having to function to move it into the reveal phase, let's just have a specific that is set at deploy, where after this time, reveals are accepted and commits are not. Something like that, right? Where it's like the timing is there. Let's see how this thing does. Ask your question, shoot it. How you doing?
Hey, Austin, while that runs, do you ever find that like feeding it components that work on some other project
For sure. Yeah.
helps? Is it like modular in the sense that, hey, you have a project that's, you know, the UI is not what you want, but then you have the backend working and you feed that to the model. Is that something that works?
100%. Yep. So what I'll do, and I'm glad you asked this question because it's something I do with almost every project, is I create a reference folder at the root, and I'll go to Scaffold-ETH. Let's say I'm making a Merkle. I actually did this exact thing. I tried to one-shot a Merkle tree. It didn't work. Then I went back to old Merkle tree examples from Scaffold-ETH, and I gave it like 3 or 4 reference examples. Like, here's the Merkler built by Adam from Scaffold-ETH, and here's a Merkle root built by someone else. Basically, all these builds that had already been created in Scaffold-ETH, I go back and grab those, and I fork them down, and I go to the branch, and then I reference those in my context. I say, I've also referenced this in the context of this reference file. Use this reference file to help you build. And I've seen it do pretty well. It still has problems with Merkle trees because they're complicated, and you have to do this complicated thing in the front end, but it does help. And I'll often have a reference folder, and then I'll reference that reference folder from my context.
Nice. You throw the files directly, or use some MCP server to summarize the
No,
file?
so this is another thing, is I'm not doing any MCP stuff, man. I should be doing a ton more, but I don't do MCP stuff.
We
But
just
yeah,
had an
MCP would be
episode
really
about
good.
that. That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes. So you guys have done an MCP episode already?
It was the last one. So people are
Right.
making like a megazord of tabs of vibe coding here, your tabs, other people's tag, and everyone's going to be a pro vibe coder at the end. Nice.
The MCP stuff is so cool. I need more of that, and being able to like just give. So if I'm clear here, there could be like a GitHub MCP that is basically just a server that my agent can start to access, and I give
Exactly.
it that server, and then I say, use the GitHub MCP to read how many commits were made on this repo, and then we're going to mint a token based on those commits or something like that.
This kind of stuff can summarize all the repositories. Manuel, I guess this was the question that you asked for Patrick too, right? Maybe we can join those 2 experiments here. It's going to be fun.
Heck yeah. This thing is kind of doing some off the rail. Okay, so it's updating the front end now that it's made that change. I have no idea what's going to happen here. We have, 6 minutes left? Let's see how it does on the front end.
Actually, we have a full hour. I don't know how much time you have, but these sessions usually go for 2 hours. No kidding.
Oh, geez. My kids are going to kill me. They're like waiting upstairs for screen time. As soon as it hits 5 p.m., it's going to be a crazy mess down here with Roblox and sounds going off and all sorts of things.
That's cool, bro. Don't worry. Just telling you that you have the time.
Okay, so let's see. What do handle commit? I mean, I guess we're just waiting for. Okay, we have a select. Hey, and we have a countdown. This looks really good. Okay. We need to redeploy our contract. Is it? Are we happy? Are we done? Running terminal. Don't run the terminal. Good Lord, stop. Off the rails. Okay, so I probably need to restart that, and I probably need to restart my chain because it probably tried to run its own chain. And then once of those are both up, let's try to deploy. Okay, we're definitely not gambling on chain like I was hoping we would do, but we're at least making progress here. We should have some emojis. Let's see what it does. There we go. Okay. And as I hit this, we should see this thing count down. Yep, 43 seconds. I'm going to hit the faucet again. This should go down again. Okay, I'm going to pick my favorite emoji, which is fire. It gives me the random salt. This is really nice. Look at this. And it has this. Oh, this is really nice. Okay. And then commit the vote. Okay, now we didn't see a pop-up there because it used a burner wallet. And it's really dumb that it makes us save our salt, but maybe it's going to be saved in the front end anyways. I'm not sure what it's going to do. Okay, so now we're just waiting for the commit phase to end. Now, if you're on localhost, there's no transactions happening here. So the time will not count by. You have to just keep hitting this. 2 seconds. I almost got it. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Okay, here we go. There we go. Now we should have a reveal. Oh, shit. Oh shit. I really needed to save that. Gosh, that is lame. Okay, hold on. Let's just bring the page. So notice I need to make a change here. I'm not going to make the change here. I'm going to create a new context. I'm going to bring in just the page, and I'm going to say hide the whole salt thing from the user. Create a nice random salt and save it in local storage and have it ready for the reveal. Okay, so no more. Oh, stop. Gotta have the right context. You want the page there. Okay, there we go. And then send it. So instead of having to keep track of that salt, which is really dumb, let's have it do this. Okay.
We can try and collide the hash too, right? We should try and boot the faucet real quick.
Because let's see. I mean, you can't, if the salt is 12 characters, you're not going to brute force it, right? Like that, all we need is like 12 to 15 characters in the salt, and then it's over. I'm assuming, unless there's other cryptography experts here that would argue that.
Maybe when your kid finish college, we might have a,
yeah. Well, yeah. I was going to say quantum computing will exist and none of this will exist, but I don't think college will exist by the time my kid gets there.
That's for real.
Like, why would you go to college if a computer is smarter than any human, right? Like, what my kids, like, what?
I hope that we still have things like art, like you go for college too.
Yeah. Okay, like you go to like learn how. Yeah. Okay.
I hope.
I hope. Something interesting there. Some weird errors about. It needs to be big in there. You'll find this a lot when trying to one shot or build with AI in Web3. Is it messes up big numbers a lot. It will be off by 10 to the 18. Very, very commonly. Okay, I don't know where we are. Let's see what the front end look like. What does our app look like? Let's redeploy our contract. Is this thing done? Not running anything weird? Okay, cool. All right, contract is fresh. Okay, shoot, this doesn't look good. When I redeploy the contract, oh, reset. I need to reset. Classic, this goes all the way back to Truffle. There we go. It was using a freaking cached version, which I don't think it should, but on localhost, you should never cache anything. Okay, here we go. Favorite emoji, we're gonna go with rocket this time. There we go. Now notice, no salt. I don't need to think about the salt. The user experience is much better. Vote committed successfully. We didn't need that. We could take that out. It saw that the alert was there earlier telling us about our salt. So it was like, let's keep this here and make a message out of it. That's a pain. Okay, we got to wait 45 seconds and then we'll be ready. Okay, let me show you. It's really up against the time, but if you are using Scaffold-ETH and you have an app built out and you're ready to go to production, let me show you the steps for going to production. If you try to deploy, for instance, you can pick any network you want. So here we're doing yarn deploy. That's deploying locally. Now, if we just add this network and then put some network here, it will deploy to the network. This isn't going to work. It's going to tell us we don't have any money, but that's cool. Let's do it and learn from it. So it's telling us that we need to generate an account. I'll do that real quick. Put in a shitty password, get an account, put a little Arbitrum in here. How much does it? Anybody know? I'm going to pay $1. I hope that $1 is enough to deploy on Arbitrum. We're about to find out. All right, and then I'll do a yarn deploy -- network Arbitrum, and hopefully we funded this deployer account, and we should be able to put our smart contract out on a live network. Let's see if it works. There it goes. Okay, let's go. While that's deploying, let's go back here. You've committed. Let's roll it over. There we go. Now it's time to reveal. Please remember. Oh, I have to select which one I voted for. Oh, was it Rocket? I think it was Rocket, wasn't it? It worked. It revealed.
Nice.
Okay, all right. The commitment. It is sloppy AF, but it actually works. Okay. And now we just put our smart contract out on Arbitrum. Okay. So then you need to edit one thing, and that is the scaffold config. You change one variable in your scaffold config to be Arbitrum, and then the whole app is going to reload, and the whole app's now on Arbitrum, right? So all these addresses, now if you connect your wallet, it's not going to use burner wallets anymore. It's going to make you connect your MetaMask. Wait, did that not work? Let's go. Yo, I'm waiting on either MetaMask or Wallet Connect. One of those two. Web3 user experience, everyone. What is happening here? I'm
Decentralization doesn't mean.
server. I'm waiting on a fucking centralized server right now, and I don't even know which one it is. And man, that boiled my blood a little bit. Okay, maybe we Wallet Connect. Can I do anything here, Pedro? Is Wallet Connect down? What is happening? Let me try to Wallet Connect into this with a Punk wallet. Go completely around at least one of the servers. Okay, I'm connected with my Punk wallet. Put it on Arbitrum. Reload it. Okay. Loading state. This is the shittiest vibe-coded app ever. What?
It's funny because the app is good, but the RCP cars that are slowing
Right,
down.
right. It's all the other. It's the bull crap. It's the. Why does it just say loading state? Oh, I need to deploy. No. The contract is on Arbitrum, right? It's right here on Arbitrum, right?
Yeah.
This is the contract. It's ready to go on Arbiscan. Let's make sure it's there. It's there. Okay, so what the hell? Super lame. Okay, this is how you would do it, though. You would push this to production. The one other command I haven't talked about yet is yarn Vercel. So all we've done is we've put the smart contract out on the network, but we're still on localhost. You'd need to also put your front end up live, and that's where yarn Vercel comes in. I have this like special command that I add that tells it not to check types and not to be safe at all and to force things, and that makes it quicker. But now if we were to wait 3 minutes and then click on this, it's going to take us to this app that's being built, and you guys could go to the URL, connect to your wallet, and vote on the emojis. Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe something's broken here. We're definitely not gambling on chain. I can tell you that right now. That didn't work.
We're gambling of vibes, which is good.
Yeah. All right, that's probably all I can do for now, though. You guys should all try Scaffold-ETH, try Cursor, right, in agent mode with Claude 3.7 or whatever the latest, best model is. Dink around with one-shotting, dink around with, I don't know, prompt engineering, something I'm learning, that's for sure.
MCP service prompt engineering.
MCP. Yep. I need to learn MCP. When can I get a good 5-minute TLDR on putting MCP into Cursor? It's probably really easy, right? I probably just go to settings and do it.
Yeah. The amount of MCPs out there takes a while for you to figure out which ones are the good and the bad, but configuring them is very quickly.
Cool.
Like Kevin was suggesting, Context 7. This one is very good. I guess we can even read Scaffold-ETH from Context 7. You get 2-3 favorite ones and then stick with them.
Nice.
That's good. Well, Austin, I know that you have to go, but delivered a master session here about vibe coding, smart contracts. The app was very cool. It wasn't gambling yet, but it was very cool to see like emojis. So
We could
please
have
be
gambled on
invited
it eventually. Yeah,
to
I
come
gambled.
here and finish that smart contract if you want. And I would love to have you around for the Vibathon and the whole things that we're going to do next.
Heck yeah. When is the Vibathon? How does that work?
We just soft announced it today.
Okay.
Let me show you the link here in the chat.
Oh yeah, that was at the beginning of the thing. Yeah, I heard
Yes,
that.
the Vibathon. So it's going to be online for people to deploy the first apps and games with Vibe code, and they are going to submit these projects to Artisan so that they can get match funding from Artisan to like bootstrap fund their first initiatives. That's the
Heck
whole
yeah.
idea.
Let's go. Sounds good.
Wonderful. Thank
Hit
you
me
very
up.
much, Alcin. I hope you all like it. If you want to drop your socials, Alcin, for people to contact you
Yeah,
later, to join the
Here we go.
guild, to
Yep.
keep things going, make your CTAs here.
That's me. DMs are open. And really, the best place to get started is Speedrun Ethereum. Like, if you're interested in learning how to build on Ethereum, go to Speedrun Ethereum. If you're interested in getting into the Build Guild, go to Speedrun Ethereum. Go to Speedrun Ethereum and just like do the 5 or 6 challenges that are there. Even if you have to vibe code your way through it, do Speedrun Ethereum, and that'll get you into more Web3 stuff. All right,
Nice.
hearts. Thank you all. Have a good
Thank you,
night.
Alcin. Have a good one. Thank you very much. Guy's a legend. Good. So, how was it, everyone? Did you have fun today?
It was awesome, Mateus. Thank you so much, man.
Nice to see you all here. Just as a direction, because Alcin is very quick. If you need to be introduced to Scaffold-ETH, I have put here the link in the chat for a recording that we did earlier with Kevin Jones, going through the whole process with vibe coding Scaffold-ETH. But we even dedicated a lot of time to getting Scaffold-ETH set up correctly. So how to install on your machine, how to do the commands, yarn chain, blah, blah, blah. So if you need a rundown on that, pick that recording. If you want to have access to the whole recordings of all of those sessions, please apply to the calendar. It's for free. Just Buildler, if you want to sponsor, it's going to be very welcome. Everything is going to be given back for all of you in the Artisan community, but it's not mandatory. I want to be inclusive for everyone. So you can just apply as a Builder there, and then submit your project for Artisan so that we can give you this mentorship, this support for you to keep on building. Okay, that is the summary of it. I won't rob too much of your time. I would like to thank you all for being here again. I want to see your project submitted there. I want to see your questions coming. Please be invited to join our Telegram channel, invited to be in all of the next sessions. And as we have just soft announced the Vibathon, I want to see you all there subscribing. It's for free to participate and get your vibes out there as a product, as a project, as a game. It's something that is going to be consolidating. Okay, Jerome, you want to ask a question, my friend?
Yeah, just kind of reminded you last session I joined. I'm trying to figure out how to get the recordings so that I could follow along. I don't know how to get in contact with you.
Oh, sorry about that. I've just pasted in the chat the link for the Venture Mind Academy. I'm there posting daily. I'm posting even more than I should, I guess, but you can interact with me there at any time. And if you have applied for the Builder calendar on Luma, you should have access to these links. If not, you just ping me. Maybe it was one broken automation, something like that. I can add you to the Google Drive, okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay, no, thank you all for joining, participating. It was a very fun session. Okay.
Thank you, Mateus.
Good. Stop the recording.